All right, everyone, we are actually starting. I want to introduce myself. My name is KM. I work with a company called Immersion Intensives. And something that you can know about me is that I'm completely passionate about having a growth mindset. I'm very curious, and that means I seek out experts who know a lot about what it is that they do. And one of my passions is to connect them with people that they can help. So I love working with this company for that very reason. Um, I am going to go ahead just so that you guys know. I'm going to tell you this is a safe space for anything that you want to share about yourselves. If any of you want to drop anything about yourselves into the chat, just let us know where you're from or anything like that. Um, Also, we want to let you know that if you stay on this, it's going to be about 45 minutes. We're going to work hard to make sure we cap it at that. And we will have Q&A at the end. Please do not put your Q&A in the chat. Go ahead and put it in the Q&A box that we have, and we will get to that Q&A at the end. We also will do a poll, so we would love it if you stick around for that poll. And let's dive right into it. I am going to share my screen and pop you guys out of the way. You're going to see a few different people talking today. We've got myself and we've got Jim, who I'm going to ask to say something so his head pops up and says hello to you guys.
Hello all, how are you tonight? Thanks for coming.
And Jim works with me here at Immersion Intensives. And then we've got two wonderful guests with us today, and they are actually going to be running the retreat that we're going to be speaking about tonight. And ladies, if you just want to pop on and say hello.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a chance to hear from everybody on the webinar tonight. But we assume that if you are here, it is because you saw some information about a webinar that we're doing right now for our PCOS retreat. So essentially, you're probably here because you're having some challenges with PCOS. Hopefully, you actually have a PCOS diagnosis and you're seeking help. So you've come to the right place. And I just want to let you know that we are going to tell you a little bit about our organization tonight. We're going to give you a chance to meet the clinicians. We're going to tell you about why we're putting on an intensive retreat with PCOS as the theme. We're going to go over a little bit of a daily schedule if you were to come to one of our retreats. And what we do is we put together wellness retreats around mental, physical, and emotional well-being. And we have some customization options that kind of set us apart from the normal wellness retreat company that you would go to. And so we're going to tell you a little bit about those customizations. We're going to talk about pricing. We're going to have some time, like I said, for the Q&A, and then we're going to talk about next steps. So right now, I want to bring Jim back on. He created this company. And Jim, would you let us know a little bit about yourself and why you created Immersion Intensives?
Thanks, KM. Yeah, it's great to be with everybody tonight. At the end of the day, immersion intensives is about one thing. It's about trying to help people. I've figured out that this world that we live in is tough. It's been tough, and it seems like it's getting tougher. And the question that I had asked myself is like, what can I do to help? And so I wanted to put together an organization that was designed to address people with the situations that they find themselves in life, but that there is a solution to. And so immersion intensives is what popped out of that. I mean, I think that not only are we going to be able to provide a great experience where you're going to find, I think, some real solutions for the problems that you might face you in life, but we're going to have some fun doing it at the same time, right? We're gonna get into details of this, but it's really those key aspects. Let's give people some help. Let's let them have some fun. Let's take them out of their comfort zone, and let's celebrate life and the breakthroughs that we can achieve by going through 3 or 4 days together.
Thank you, Jim. Yeah, and like
Sure.
Jim was saying, So what's this name immersion intensives mean anyway? Well, we oftentimes know what it means to immerse IMM into something, but immersion talks about the process of coming out of something. And an intensive is something we do in mental health counseling where we'll spend multiple days with someone in multiple hours in concentrated therapy. This can help somebody who's just suffering from chronic syndromes really get to learn tools in an expedited way and then practice them with a therapist. So we essentially make these wellness retreats with these intensives in mind, because why they have breakthroughs is they essentially take you out of your routine, away from your family, your friends, your coworkers. We take you out into nature, so it's a very healing place, a very calm place. And then we partner with experts in their field who know exactly what it is that you're going through. In this one, it's the PCOS symptoms you're dealing with. And Patty and Carlene have tools that we give you to practice. So, again, these intensives are crafted by experts. We use this intensive group therapy or daily education. And because you're there with a small cohort of 8 to 12 other people who also have PCOS, you're
People
basically,
that know exactly what you're doing, people that know exactly how you are, right?
yeah, people know exactly how you feel and they know what you're
Mm,
going through, and they can be there for, like, you guys can be there for one another, and it builds relationship. Uh,
absolutely.
we we also have guided nature excursions. So we have experts there who are willing to take you out and challenge you a little bit physically, just enough, and it kind of primes you to get ready for the education that you're going to learn that day. But we also get to reconnect with the parts of us that aren't just physical. We get to get in touch with our creativity, our inner spirit, or our soul, which really comes out in nature.
And when I was talking about having some fun, this is exactly what I was talking about. So I appreciate you bringing that up. And I think it's not just fun though; it really sets ourselves up for the breakthroughs that we're going to have in the group session. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, Jim, of course. And another thing that makes us really unique is that we actually use the feedback that we get from the cohort participants themselves to decide where we're going to stay, what location. We decide what the accommodations are going to be like, what type of accommodations. And then we get to decide together what kind of excursions are going to work best for us as a group.
Truly meeting people where they are.
Yeah. And I know, some of you might relate to this. I've been on wellness retreats where I've wished that I got to make some of the choices, but, I didn't. And most of the time you don't. You just sign up for the experience and you go along for it. So this is really a true collaboration. And it's what I love about our company. Also, this is priced similarly to an all-inclusive cruise or a resort vacation. So it's very accessible to someone who has been struggling and really desires to break through. So right now, I want to take a pause and I want to introduce you guys to these clinicians, Patty and Carlene. They are really passionate about what they do, and they're really excited to craft this experience together with you. First up, I'm going to ask Patty to share.
Absolutely. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to join us to find out more about this intensive. We are super excited about it, and we love working together because we're not only work together in our field, but we are very good friends. So it's always fun to go on a new adventure together. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I actually have an undergraduate degree in exercise phys, and my master's is in sports nutrition, which doesn't really have a lot to do with this particular intensive, but certainly has some background for me. I grew up, I'm the youngest of 6 kids. I have 4 sisters and 1 brother. So lots of feminine energy in the family for sure. I was a competitive swimmer into high school. And so fueling
Yeah, I
myself.
have 5 sisters too, Patty.
Hey, Jim. Look at
Yeah, I didn't know you had 5 sisters.
Lucky. I am
Yeah,
pretty lucky.
I know all about your brother. Okay.
Yeah, you probably do.
Yeah.
It's true. But anyway, so our family was pretty active and food was really important, both socially and also the quality of food was important. My mom was a home ec major and we always had fresh made food. It was kind of amazing. Had our own little small farm, grew some things in the summer, etc. So food has always been important to me, and no surprise that I ended up going into the nutrition field, I guess. Um, but anyway, so let me talk a little bit about my career. I actually started out in a clinical setting, which is actually where Carlene and I met many, many years ago. More for, I'm older. So anyways, so worked numerous years in a hospital, focusing on different things, did some research, also taught at the college level. But the majority of my career has actually been spent working with women who struggle with eating disorders or disordered eating. And as I grew into my private practice, I transitioned more into hormone health and specializing in supporting women who struggle with PCOS and are also some women who are going through menopause. And this has been such a heartfelt place for me because I also was going through menopause at that time. So learning was super interesting and it's very rewarding to work with these clients. And I love helping them solve the puzzle of their symptoms and how we can help them and just allowing them to live a better, more vibrant life. So that's my story.
Beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
should have gone first. I feel like Patty's bio is so impressive. So hello, everybody. I am Carlene McKillop. It's lovely to see everybody here tonight. And again, thank you for your time. I, like Patty, am a registered dietitian nutritionist, and I have always loved food. I think that my first word as a toddler was cookie, and so I've had this love of food since the beginning. I grew up on the central coast of California, and my grandparents were Portuguese immigrants. They were ranchers and farmers, and so I feel like I've kind of always been connected to food and where food comes from and kind of appreciating the whole process of, growing food, collecting food, finding food, creating beautiful meals. That's just always been a passion of mine. So naturally, I kind of fell into studying nutrition in college. And over the years, I've had multiple different roles as a career. Worked initially as a clinical dietitian at the regional hospital here, which, as Patty mentioned, is where we met over 2 decades ago.
Ooh, she put the years on.
Yeah, I did. So it's been a beautiful collaboration and friendship since then. Worked in various other settings, though, in the outpatient setting and doing some nonprofit work through the years too. I have 3 daughters of my own, so became even more passionate about women's health, trying to raise girls in this world. And I think just over the years in my various jobs, I would see women with PCOS and really felt like they just were not getting good quality care, not good evidence-based, compassionate care. And so I just became more and more passionate about providing good quality, evidence-based, compassionate care to these women. And so that's when I pursued more education, became the certified PCOS and food peace dietitian, and really started to take a deep dive into this area. And so that's really my passion and my expertise now is I really focus on PCOS and hormone health and menopause. And I mostly see just individual clients in my current practice. And I just absolutely love what I do. So
Thank
that's
you
me.
so much. That was that was such great introductions for you ladies. And this piece of compassionate care is so vitally important and so oftentimes missing from traditional medicine. And I know that women experience it every day. And so this topic and this retreat is really important. And so I would love it if you ladies would share more about the actual retreat that you have created.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes. So this topic is incredibly important to us, as we just mentioned. We see people with PCOS in our individual practice every week. And so one thing that's just really important to know about us, as Kay was just mentioning, is that we really believe very passionately in compassionate PCOS care. So we lead with compassion, and we're going to try to explain a little bit more what that means. So we believe in whole person focused care, which basically just means that we want to see you as the unique individuals that you are. You are not just your diagnosis. We want to see you and understand all your unique perspectives. So we really want to kind of like widen our perspective and consider not just your physical health, not just your PCOS diagnosis, but also your emotional health, your mental health, your relational health, your schedule, your priorities, your passions, the things that matter to you, your preferences, and how all of those things matter and integrate into how well you're able to take care of yourself. And so really important for us to provide to you what we would call whole person centered care and seeing you as an individual.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I want to say is if you ever visit our website, one of the first things that you'll see is that we offer simple, sustainable solutions and tools. And part of that is we are never going to ask someone to do something that we have not done ourselves or could not continue in our lives ourselves. So I think that's really one of our big focuses in our treatment style is to make things doable. So another really important facet for us is to come at this care with an eating disorder informed lens. And part of that is all of the clinicians that we work with are eating disorder professionals and have done a lot of time and training and experiential work in treating women and men with eating disorder struggles. And so we do not ever want to perpetuate an eating disorder behavior. So we always are going to try to facilitate the type of care that is, again, compassionate, but also non-diet and really focused on sustainable skills. And being able to enjoy all foods is so important to us.
Right. And it also sounds like, what you were just saying is you're catering to the individual. That's
Absolutely. Yes.
so rare.
Yes, it is what we do.
It is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's also very important, I think, for you to know that we are evidence-based in our treatment. And so we do not lead with compassion only because it feels good and because that aligns with our values, which of course it does. But we lead with compassion because it is evidence-based. There is some really compelling research in the PCOS world specifically that if we can cultivate self-compassion in you and in our clients, that it actually does improve your well-being over time, and it actually does improve your ability to take care of yourself over time. So it's really important, and it is evidence-based.
I
I
love
don't
that.
think I have to tell. Oh,
We've done a lot of work in the alcohol and drug field as well, and so compassionate care is so important there too. So I love how you're taking that aspect of it, bringing it forward here. It's wonderful.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I have to tell any of you that have a PCOS diagnosis that, a lot of providers out there don't really fully understand PCOS and don't keep up with the research. And so, unfortunately, are still kind of giving out very outdated advice and suggestions to just eat less, exercise more. And really, what we understand now through our own clinical practice, but then also evidence and research, is that that can really do more harm than good. And so we really need you to understand that, PCOS is not your fault. You did not create your PCOS. And that we really want to provide you with the tools, evidence-based treatment that is going to help you feel better. And PCOS is complex. And again, it is not something that you created. It is something that we want to help you to understand and improve your symptoms.
Absolutely. That was beautiful. Another thing that we always are going to focus on with each and every client that we work with in an intensive or individually is we're going to do individualized assessments and care plans, because no two clients are alike. There might be similarities here and there, but each person deserves their own assessment, care plans, reassessments, looking at the puzzle of putting the pieces together that work for you individually. And the beauty about this intensive is it's going to be a small enough group that we are actually going to be able to do that as well for you. So that's one of the reasons why we're so excited about this process. So.
Absolutely. And, part of compassionate care too is being able to connect with our clients and with our cohort, the people that are coming to the retreat. And so we are really excited to connect with you. And I think it's like weekly that Patty and I look at each other and we say, wow, we are so thankful for our clients. We love working with our clients. And so we're also excited to connect with you too.
Yes.
So now we're going to launch into just some of the topics that we're going to cover specifically in the retreat. I'm going to go through this slide and Patty's going to go through the next one. So the first topic, and what we'll spend a lot of time on really the first day, is really just understanding PCOS. So we're really going to lay the foundation for, what is PCOS exactly? And unfortunately, a lot of people that have that diagnosis don't really know. And so we're going to spend some time on that. We're really going to work on kind of dispelling some of the myths and the misinformation that's out there, and just really help you to understand like what is happening beneath the surface here, what's going on in my body that is causing some of these distressing symptoms. Many of our clients say that they really feel like they're at war with their bodies, which is a really common refrain that we hear. And so we really want to help you to understand that your body communicates just a little bit differently than somebody that doesn't have PCOS. And we really want to help you to kind of get on the same team as your body and understand what is happening. Really important key to finding self-compassion is to find the understanding of what's going on. So we'll spend a lot of time on that. We're going to talk about sustainable nutrition care practices. So Patty kind of already alluded to this a little bit, but we don't really ascribe to kind of the quick fix, simple things that really don't work. We're going to talk about like sustainable nutrition care for life. So we're going to talk about how to create meals that are inclusive of all food groups, that help to create really satisfying, nourishing meals, but also are incorporating the nutrients that we know to be helpful for hormone health. So we're going to talk through that, and we're talk through how to work on hydration and improving hydration management, improving gut health practices, because so many of our hormones are manufactured in our gut, and that is a huge connection for hormone health. We're going to talk about and do some hands-on practice with real-life menu and meal applications. So we're going to do some demonstrations around how to create these types of meals that we're talking about. We're going to give you some opportunities to practice that. And we're going to do some menu creation as well. We're going to allow you to practice that, considering your own preferences, your own schedule. Again, very individualized. So, anybody can pop onto the internet and Google menu for PCOS. But what we want to do is to provide you with the skills that are going to allow you to do menu planning for yourself, considering your own individual circumstances, and be flexible with that for life, for the long term.
And
yes,
each and every meal and snack that will be served will be planned so that it is PCOS hormone friendly. And it's going to be super delicious as well.
Yes, that may be what I'm most excited about.
Yes. Well, I don't know.
Just kidding.
That chicken there is making me feel pretty hungry right now. So,
right?
Yes. And eat some amazing meals together, which will be really special.
That'll be fun. Yeah.
And then lastly, here on this slide, we're going to spend some time talking about supplements and how they can potentially help. So there's actually a lot of very exciting research on specific supplements for PCOS. And we know that that could be very overwhelming, and just kind of weed through what is valid, what is not valid, how to pick maybe a good quality supplement, which ones are best for you and your individual situation. And so again, we want to provide you with that evidence-based information and share that with you so that you can make the decision that's right for you in terms of supplements as well.
Excellent point.
Off to you, Patty.
Off to me, my turn. I get pretty excited about these topics because I love working with clients on lifestyle changes that they did not realize how much they would impact their lives, and how much better people can feel in literally a couple of days, if not 2 weeks. So it's pretty cool to be able to witness this with our clients. So the first topic, one of the big topics that we'll be talking about as far as lifestyle management is sleep quality. And sleep quality is so important. It is what I say, the foundation of our health, more important than even our nutrition, exercise, movement, meditation, all those things. If you don't have good sleep, you are really undermining the rest of the things. So
Patty,
we will spend some,
sorry to interrupt you. I just have a question that I'm sure some of the ladies are wondering too. So when I hear about sleep quality, I often think of, am I getting 7 or 8 hours of sleep a night? But there's more to sleep quality than that, right? It's not just that simple.
A lot. Yes.
Right.
A lot more than that. And we will be looking in depth into our sleep quality. We will be doing assessments for each and every one of these areas in your life. That the beauty is, if you don't do so great on the assessment this time, you'll get to take it over and over again, however often you want to reassess it in your life. So they're not a one-time assessment. And that's one of the things that we've done a lot of research to find good assessments that can be reused in people's lives so they can check in, right?
That's a great idea, Patty.
Yeah. So we don't want this intensive to be 4 days of super great information and then you go home and you sort of forget about it, right? This is stuff we want you to take home with you, walk with, see what works for you, what doesn't, have follow-ups, all of that beautiful stuff. So that is something that we are really excited about, is to be able to offer this to, more than just our local clients. So that's pretty cool. As far as sleep quality, we're going to be looking at a lot of different things. We're going to be looking at circadian rhythm. We're going to be looking at the timing of your eating. We're going to look at your bedtime routines. Just like a toddler or a baby, we have to actually create bedtime routines that work for us and support our sleep, which sounds funny, but it's very true.
Very impactful too.
Yes, very impactful. And sometimes hard to do. We're going to talk a lot about the impact of stress on hormones. We're going to talk about stress management and all kinds of different sustainable lifestyle options that can reduce your daily stress. We're going to practice some in person, such as journaling, breathing practices, gratitude practice at each meal, which is so lovely. And lots more. So these are just snippets of things that you're going to be able to walk away from this intensive with. We're going to talk a lot about
Wow. I
movement.
had no idea there's that much stuff.
Oh, there's a lot.
How are you going to pack that into 3 days? That's amazing.
It's 4 days.
It's
So
4 days.
thank goodness
Okay,
it's
good.
4 days.
All right, 4 days, 3 nights, 4 days. Gotcha.
So
Thanks.
we will do it in fun ways.
All right.
Yep, we'll do it. Movement is super important for PCOS, and that doesn't necessarily mean doing high intensity interval workouts.
Right.
So we're going to talk a lot about different ways that we can build some movement into our lifestyle that will support our blood sugars and support our PCOS symptoms. And it might be things that you don't even think about as movement. So we are going to talk a bit about boundary setting skills too, because this is a hot topic for me. I think without boundaries, we really are unable to find time and sustainable ways to take care of ourselves. And so I hate to say it, it's kind of like the dumb saying on the airplane that if you don't put on your own oxygen mask first, you can't really help anybody else. But this is super true. And so we really need to work on boundary setting. So we will be doing some assessments there and seeing if there are some areas in your life where boundary setting could be improved, which is probably true for all of us. And we just need, our clients to be able to set clear boundaries around them taking care of themselves and skill building in that area. These next two things are kind of fun. These are options. And so one of them is to use a continuous glucose monitor, either before, during, or after the intensive. And we can help you understand more of what that information is telling you. We use CGMs quite a bit in our work, and it can be really helpful to understand our own individual responses to foods. So, and then the other thing that we will be doing is offering some lab panels that you can get probably through your own physicians. If not, we'll order them through Rupa. And these lab values will just give us a baseline of where you're at right now. And then we might have you check those again in 6 or 12 months. So these are options. These aren't something that you have to do. So, but lots of fun stuff. Lots of cool stuff.
Yeah, that is a lot of information. And I hope that you ladies are not overwhelmed to the point that you can't absorb anything more, because we do have more to share with you in the brief remaining time that we have. But I want to thank Patty and Carlene for coming on and giving us such a great kind of overview of the experience. One thing that
It's jam-packed with information, so it's going to be tremendous. Yeah.
One thing
I wish I could
can
go to
tell
this
you
retreat.
is every single day is going to be full. So just a
Jam-packed.
daily schedule, you can look and see. We wake up, you have morning time for yourself, quiet time, meditation, prayer, whatever it is that you do to get yourself centered and ready for the day. You have a little bit of time for that before breakfast. And like Patty and Carlene were saying, every meal is intentionally prepared for you. So this isn't a place where you're going to go and be like, oh, the experience was so great, but the food was like, it's like, no, the food is going to be amazing also. After breakfast, you're going to launch into your first guided nature excursion. This is intentionally in the morning to get your brain set for learning and to get your body moving. You're then going to go into your first interactive education experience with Patty and Carlene. They're going to have some hands-on practice before lunch. And then after lunch, you'll go back into education. After that, you'll have some free time or session time, and wherever we are, we're gonna be in a beautiful natural location. So you are going to want to take advantage of some of this free time to just wander and explore where we're at. Um, we're also gonna share dinner together, have some time for creativity, journaling, or connection with the cohort. And then we're all going to crash hard because of such a long day. But with these new beautiful sleep habit routines that we're learning, and
That's right.
then we'll get up the next day ready to do it all over again,
Ready to go. That's
ready to
right.
go. And it's going to be really fun. This part I want to tell you about now is what really sets us apart as immersion intensives is that we come together with you and we decide together, hey, what excursions sound most exciting for you? What are you physically available to do? What does it sound like? If there are things that you've tried in the past, we encourage you to try something that you haven't tried before that maybe is just a little bit challenging, but not too much for you. So we have all kinds of possibilities. You can see the list. I don't have to read it out loud to you, but you can see there's a lot of different options, and this really depends on wherever we end up going as a location. Which brings up the next part. How do we choose locations? Well, it's all about we decide first off based on pricing. So, what type of accommodations people prefer. We decide the region based usually on where the experts reside or where they would like to go. We consider the season, the terrain, and then obviously wherever we are, the excursion availability of where we're located. A lot of times the location will determine what excursions we have available for us. So this time around, we have two options for the location for the PCOS retreat. First is Southern California. So if you're all feeling like a lot of us who are in the northern,
It never rains in Southern California.
yeah,
I've heard that before somewhere.
if we want to escape to Southern California, this is an opportunity for us. We'll obviously see the beach. We'll be able to have a little bit of warmer weather. And this retreat is looking to be at the end of April in 2025. So it should be beautiful weather there. The second option would, of course, be Oregon. This is going to feel more of, we might be on the coast, we might not. Again, it depends on the accommodations, but this is definitely going to be the potential of a more forest vibe. So I want you to imagine that we have three tiers of accommodations. So we have the more accessible, it almost feels like us when you go to summer camp, you go to a lodge, you're going to be doing the educational experiences either outside or in the lodge. And we might be staying in something that has more of a cabin feel. So this is our most affordable price point for everybody. And because our cohort is roughly 8 to 12 people, usually the fewer the people that come, the greater the cost is because we're all sharing the cost. But the more people come, the lesser the cost is for everyone. So we really try to get 12 people to join. The next tier up would be a boutique hotel experience. These are real accommodation possibilities. Again, it just depends on people's preference for spending. This is a little bit more expensive, but you would be offered either private or shared rooms. There would usually be some sort of pool accommodation, and there would be a small kind of private area that we could do our educational experiences in. So this has a little bit more of like an intimate, design-oriented, but also, it kind of has a vibe. So
For
this is our,
small enough hotels, yeah, for small enough hotels, we can actually sometimes get the whole place.
yeah, sometimes you can get the
Yep.
whole.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last tier is an Airbnb or a VRBO. And this is getting a private home. It will be the largest accommodation type. Everyone can usually have either a private or a shared room. Usually I try to find a place with a pool if the season is correct for that. And it's just a place where, again, we're going to try to be in a natural location. We're not going to try to be in a downtown location. So you can still have that nature feel. So this is the time of night. Let me pause the recording, but we're going to do a poll for everybody. And this is the time where you guys, as the people who are here, get to help us try to decide what location, whether it be Southern California or Oregon, what accommodation type, whether it would be a retreat center, a boutique hotel, or an Airbnb, and then what type of excursions you prefer. Okay, let's get back to, we just did our poll. So again, that's something that's really exciting about these experiences, because you get to have a say in where we go, where we stay, and what we do while we're there.
If
Not many
anybody's watching this afterwards, Cam, they can participate in the polls, right? They can just
Yes.
send you the information that they're interested in.
Yes,
I just
we
want to
can
make
send
sure. Yeah.
you. And you can always go to immersionintensives.com if you are watching a replay and see what we're offering at the moment as far as the PCOS intensive. So what you are going to receive from this intensive, you're going to get 4 days and 3 nights at a gorgeous either Southern California or Pacific Northwest nature retreat. Nature, calm, beauty, all this education that Patty and Carlene were talking about. 10 gourmet meals and snacks, 12 hours of group therapy and education. You're going to get insights about PCOS and whole person care. You're going to create a toolbox of skills to support your new health goals. You're going to have guided movement classes, which I think Patty forgot to mention, but I love how she calls it joyful movement. And like, that's so important. Things that bring us happiness while we're moving, not that make us feel like we have to do this because we have to do this. Also 3 different nature excursions, which are going to get you a little bit out of your comfort zone, but really they're setting you up to empower you to see how much you really can challenge yourself and come out on the other side stronger. And the most important thing about this experience is you're going to get to take these friendships home with you. These small cohorts get very close because you're going through a lot of emotional and physical challenge together. So you're also getting to hold each other accountable to these new tools that you're being given when you're practicing. So you kind of have a built-in accountability buddy when you go home, which is really special and something that's unique.
There's
And
a lot of life happening in these in a jam-packed way, right? I mean, just 3 or 4 days, and there's a lot of life happening there. And so the groups just really come together and bond in such a special way. So it's wonderful to see the kinds of friendships that come out of small cohorts.
right. And then you have your relationship with your clinicians that, you can stay in touch with for as long as that brings you value.
Yeah.
But, I know what you're actually thinking is, how is my life actually going to change? Because, we've all gone on experiences thinking, "Ooh, this gonna do something for me." And it's a big risk, but sometimes there's a reward and sometimes there's not a reward. Well, I can promise you that with this experience, there are huge rewards, because how your life actually changes, you're going to leave with an empowered understanding of your diagnosis. That's power right there. You're going to have a healed relationship with your body, meaning no longer being apologetic for the diagnosis or shaming yourself around the diagnosis, but embodying it with strength and power and compassion. And that means you're going to have a celebratory spirit, which creates and opens up more opportunities for self-love and self-care, those beautiful practices that you're going to learn. You're going to have better conversations with your healthcare providers, empowered conversations, because you actually know what you're talking about. And you're going to have those better practices to create and hold boundaries with family and friends, where it's like, this is my self-care time. I'm doing this for me. That's true power. You're also going to leave with a support system and accountability that you can call on and reach out whenever you need. And the true thing is that you're going to have mastery, exactly what Patty and Carlene promised you. You're going to cross a threshold and you're never going to go back. So that's how your life is going to be changed. And
I
of
love
course,
that,
you know,
KM.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
everybody is thinking to themselves, well, this sounds great, but what's the cost? Everything has a cost, right? So let's talk pricing, because we do believe in pricing transparency. And let's think of all the ways that we spend and invest money in our emotional, mental,
Uh-oh, I'm not sure I want to hear
physical
about
health.
this. Wait a minute.
I've got some fun ones that
Am
I'm
I,
thinking about.
should I be holding my ears?
No, the first one's super
On
easy.
my
Just
headphone set here? Okay, all right.
just mental health counseling. You know, that's an average. It can be an average of $2,000 a year. These are just looking up in like Google, what does the average American spend on mental health counseling in a year?
Hmm.
An all-inclusive spa resort. I was looking this up just for personal, uh, you know, curiosity. There was a place on the West Coast, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. And you get to go there, and it's all inclusive, so the food is included, but you just like go and get spa treatments. But that was $2,000 to $3,000 a night. A night. And I was like, okay,
It's
okay.
pretty fancy.
Yeah. Oh, here's another one.
Oh, this is my
People are
favorite.
actually talking about this lately because we're not sure, like, what are you actually paying for and who's actually getting that money? Because I don't think
I don't think Taylor Swift knows you're there.
Taylor doesn't. But you
Taylor doesn't
know,
know you're
you
there.
go to these experiences, these concerts, these mega concerts, and I mean, you can pay really high cost for one night, a one-night experience. And I'm gonna venture to say, even if it's a great act like Taylor Swift, you're gonna leave, and I don't think you're gonna be transformed. You might be entertained though. Um, a lifetime of diets or cleanses that promise results. On average,
Promise.
women
Promise.
spend
Mm.
$17,000 in
Yeah.
a lifetime
Yeah.
on these things. And I mean, I have to say, I understand. I've done that before, and so, you know, we spend our money how we spend our money, but it's like, does it get results? This is an interesting one because I had no idea lifetime gynecologist appointments for women. Now, obviously, we're not paying this out of pocket. You know, our insurance is mostly paying for this and we're paying premiums, but we're still paying towards that cost. And it's a cost that we all pay as women. But you know what one of the largest things we spend money on for our mental, emotional, or physical health, skincare and cosmetics.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah, this blew my mind. So in one year, or not 1 year, one lifetime, the average American woman spends $225,360. Jim, do you want to tell them what we did with the math here? We broke this down. Yes, we
Yeah, we
found this to
did.
be highly interesting that if
Well,
you,
they're thinking, okay, they say lifetime, right? I know you're
yeah,
just doing some research. You're like, okay, so what's lifetime? Well, okay, let's just say divided by 50 years, because maybe you start doing lifetime skincare and cosmetics when you're
20,
20. Maybe you
yeah,
go to 70. Okay, so that's 50 years. And so if you do the math, I think it's like what, $4,500 a year sounds like something like that.
$4,500 a year.
About $4,500 a year. Yeah.
And it's just so
Yeah.
interesting. What if you could spend $4,500,
Oh,
not
how
each,
about that?
but just once, and you get results that last a lifetime? Curious.
Mm.
So what is the price of your health and well-being? Like I said, we believe in pricing transparency, and we believe in paying all of our teammates and our clinicians a living wage. That's fair, and that's compassionate care also for ourselves and others. And the rest goes towards the cost of the location, the food, the excursions. So really what you're paying is for your experience and then for your expert guidance. So essentially you're getting 4 days of intensive group education with a small, safe cohort. interactive nutrition classes, hands-on practice, art projects, homework, journaling prompts, daily nature excursions, and intentionally crafted meals in a beautiful and peaceful location. And the average cost for one of our intensives is between $4,500 and $5,500, depending again on the location. Do you want bougie or do you want, summer camp? And based on the nature excursions that we're going to go on. And then also based on, the region that we're going to be in, obviously that determines what the cost of accommodation is going to look like. So again, we want this to be accessible for everybody. We do offer payment plans, and we really feel like what you're going to receive might just be the freedom that you're seeking, which really is priceless. It's like freedom, it's like self-love, it's like a whole tool set that you get to go home with and really know that you're a master of this experience called PCOS now. So here is the time where we're going to go down into the Q&A and we're going to pull up some questions. So again, hold on, let me stop the recording really quickly. All right. So we appreciate your guys' questions. That was really amazing. Obviously, we already answered some of these, but the next step, if you are interested, we would do an admissions call first. We really want to make sure that this is the right cohort for you. And so we want to learn a lot more about you on this call. We're going to go a little bit deeper with you, learn about some of your personal history and like why you're really interested in coming on this particular intensive. Then you would go through to a clinician call with Patty and Carlene, and you'd get into some deeper questions around your PCOS diagnosis and symptoms with them. Then you would actually register for our intensive. You would pay your deposit. The only thing that's not part of the all-inclusive is your either airfare, or if you're going to drive there, there'll be parking available. And then you receive your enrollment packet, which includes a welcome video, packing list, a daily agenda, and you're going to get a meal plan. So you're going to walk into this knowing exactly what to expect, and you're going to get all of that preparation up in the front end. And then you're basically just set for the experience of a lifetime. So I know we said we were going to really try to keep it to 45 minutes. We kept it to an hour. So I'm really proud of us.
We talked a lot.
We did it.
We got excited.
Yes, but everybody had so much great information to share. So I really appreciate you guys sticking with us. And again, I'm going to reach out to you guys individually, and I really look forward to our conversations. Thank you for spending this time with us. And I just want to allow, first, let's allow Jim to say his goodbye, and then please, Patty and Carlene, pop on and say your goodbyes.
We're very grateful that you spent some time with us to listen to this amazing retreat option for you. I really hope you take advantage of it. I'd be very honored by your presence. So hope to see you there.
Again, thank you so much for joining us and taking the time. We had a great time, and it's always fun to talk about these topics. And we hope that we will get to talk to some of you soon for a clinician call.
Yeah, thanks for being here, everyone. We count it just like our great privilege to walk alongside our clients and help empower them. And so we really hope that you'll take advantage, and we're excited to meet you.